So this is number 49. I am going to go over some of these homework problems, these practice problems, so that you can kind of see what you're looking for and how to do. Make sure you check your answers to see if you're right. Okay, so these ones, we're going to find the slope of the lines. Okay, so the slope is going to be rise over run. So how far up or down you have to go, divided by how far left or right you have, or how far to the right you have to go from point to point. Okay, if it's going to look like this, it's going to be positive. If it looks like this, it's negative. If it's straight up and down, it's undefined. If it's left or right, it's 0. Okay, so first we're going to look at the sign. Looking at number 1, you can see it from left to right, it's going uphill, so it's going to be positive. So the slope is going to be how far up you go. 1, 2, 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, divided by how far right you go, 1, 2. And if we go ahead and simplify that, 4 divided by 2 gives you 2. It's as simple as this seems. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and do number 2 as well, sorry. You can see if you look left to right, it's going downhill, so it's going to be negative, so the slope is going to be negative. And then we count up or down, 1, 2, 3. Divided by, we go right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so the slope is negative 3 over 5. So determine the sign using these things right here. Okay, and then just do rise over run. So if we do number 4, instead of having to actually do rise over run, we can see that it is a vertical line, so it's straight up and down. And if we have a straight up and down line here, we've got written that the slope is always undefined. So I'm just going to put undefined, UNDEF, or you can also put UND. Okay, and then number 6, since it is a horizontal line from left to right, you can see I've got written up here, if you have a horizontal line from left to right, the slope is always going to be 0. Okay, now we're going to determine the slope between the 2 given points. I'm going to do 7 and 9, and I'm just going to write down here y2 minus y1, that's a y, not an x, okay, divided by x2 minus x1. You don't want to write it down here because it is in the way of a problem, but do it this way. Okay, so label the points, x1, y1, x2, y2, x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, those are the 2 that we're going to do. We're going to do the slope here, y2 minus y1. So y2 is negative 7 minus y1 is negative 11, so that's going to change the sign because it's negative, and then 11 divided by the change in x, so x2 minus x1. x2 is this negative 6. x1 is negative 1. Since it's negative, we're going to change the sign. Okay, that only happens for the second number. Okay, so negative 7 plus 11 gives us a positive 4. Negative 6 plus 1 gives us a negative 5. So negative 4 over 5 is our slope. Okay, now again, we're going to use this formula. y2 minus y1. y2 is 3 minus y1 is 3 divided by x2 minus x1. x2 is negative 5 minus x1 is 8. If we simplify this, we get 0 divided by negative 13. And 0 divided by anything is going to give us 0. So the slope here is 0. If for any reason you end up with something divided by 0, so some number divided by 0, remember that means that the slope is undefined. So I'm just going to put UND. Alright, and now we're going to look at number 13, and we're going to split it again in between the first 2 points and the last 2 points. We're going to determine the slopes, x1, y1, x2, y2, x1, y1, x2, y2. So looking at the first one, we have that the slope here is y2 minus y1, negative 1 plus 4. So we have y2 is negative 1 minus negative 4 is y1. So it's going to be plus 4 because it's minus negative 4. Then we have x2 is negative 7 minus x1 is negative 9. So minus negative 9 is the same as plus 9. That's going to give us 3 divided by 2. Okay, and so our slope is going to be 3/2 for this first one. Okay. And now we are going to do the same thing for the second one. The slope is y2 minus y1, so negative 1 here is y1, or y2, I can't talk, minus y1 is 5, divided by x2 is negative 6, minus x1 is negative 2. You can write it like this if you'd like, but minus negative 2 is the same as plus 2. Okay, on top we have negative 6 divided by negative 4. Then if we simplify that, we get 3 divided by 2. So the slope for this one is 3/2. And since we have the same slope on both of them, they're parallel to one another. Okay, so on these ones again, you determine the slope for both of them and determine whether they are parallel or perpendicular. I'm not actually going to go over any of these ones. I don't think you did these ones. So that's all you have for this one. These are just thought I'd post this for some extra help on these practice problems if you need them. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.